it's Hani. Welcome to another episode of the You Only Live Once Life and Business Innovation Style Meditations, where I, Hani, bring you yummy conversations and yummy meditations so that you can stay yummy in your body. It is pouring rain. Literally, rain is spraying in this horizontal direction outside. And I'm here in Boston to bring to you a topic of how to detach from love. It is a very interesting question because 1,900 of you are asking, how do you detach from love? And it is a topic that I know is so difficult for people, especially if you're not getting the love in return or you are not in a place that that love is serving you. So if you're in a place where you're trying to detach from something that you love, and maybe you may or may not be aware and admitting that you actually love it, or you're in a place where you are really needing to detach it because it's starting to hurt you and it's starting to give you an emotional trauma or emotional pain, then you're in the right place. Or also, if you're wanting to learn how to do this so that you can detach from any other emotions that you have, it can also be a good place for you to start. So before we jump in, I just wanted to quickly say, if this is your first time here, thank you so much for being here. Subscribe, and if you're back here again, I'm so glad that you're back. So number one step of doing this is learning about where you're feeling and where you are right now. So if you are in love, or if you feel that there is something that you absolutely love and adore, and you truly feel that this is something that can be a huge part of your life and you want to pursue it, or you want to continue with it, whether that is a passion, that's a project, a person, or that is a topic that you really want to study, and you are not sure if you should continue or not, and you feel like you need a detachment for whatever reason, first is to be able to receive and accept that yummy love. Whatever that is, whatever the outcome is, really acknowledge and accept it. And accept that you do love this person, this course of study, this idea, this project, or whatever that is. Okay? And you can do that by tuning into it and not letting yourself diminish it or belittle it or making it smaller than it actually is. Because the biggest challenge is that when we don't want something, we pretend we don't like it, or we try to find faults in it. And what you want to really do is to tune into how you truly feel about this. So that's step number one. Step number two, once you've truly tuned into, you know what, I actually really do love this, and it's really hurting because it doesn't work for whatever circumstances, for whatever reasons, whatever it is that's in your life, it's not working, or it's starting to take a toll on you more than it is bringing you joy, then it's time to acknowledge that too and be truthful to that too. So step two is really acknowledging, is this helping you right now in terms of happiness, in terms of what you're committed to? So in our courses, we talk about your yummy commitments. You can check the link below at the free PDF to show you how to find that and how that links to all parts of your life, including business. And it's all about how this topic lights you up or takes away from you. So does this person, this project, or this item energize you, or does it drain you? And you know that straight away. So identifying and being truthful to yourself whether this energizes you or drains you. Step number two is paramount and really important to know before you want to detach. Which brings us to step three, the detachment process. So the biggest challenge is if we are linked to this person, linked to this project, linked to this reality, linked to this vision of the future, and we don't detach ourselves, a lot of times there's unfinished business that happens. And what that means is that no matter how far forward you move, you're always going to look back and you're always going to wonder, what if I took this step there? And also it prevents you from growing in life and moving forward in life because you're in a place that's standing still and that there isn't movement. I'm guessing this is what's happening because you want to detach from it. However, if there is some growth in it, you can still reconsider and see if this is something that you actually want to continue with. However, if you realize that it is draining you and you don't want to do this anymore, and maybe you've been doing this for decades or years or however long, and you've really tried your best shot, then it's time to detach. Detachment is a very, very interesting topic. The biggest challenge of detachment is that if you are not able to detach yourself from something, then like we said, you'll always go back. But not only that, but it will take up RAM. It will take up energetic RAM in your body and in your system. And especially if you're attached to an old identity that you have had before, the old way of doing things that you've had before. And if you're not able to detach from that, then you're not going to be able to move into this new being that you have. The way to detach the easiest is through emotions. Detachment can also come in the form of being overly expecting something to happen, like an expectation of a result. Let's say you want to make friends with someone and you expect them to be a certain way in order to be your friend, then that attachment to that outcome stresses you out, because when you don't get their expectation, you get disappointed. And it's putting way too much involvement and way too much pressure on the other side to meet your demands. Another danger of detachment, not being detached and attached to an outcome, is that it may give you an ulterior motive when you're speaking to a situation. When you're so attached to the outcome to turn into a certain way and you're not detached, the person or the project may feel like you're overbearing and makes them feel very, very pressured and making decisions under pressure. So like we mentioned earlier, first step is acknowledging the truth of this love. Second step is acknowledging that you do want to detach and how you actually feel about this. So the third step is to actually detach. And the detachment process is pretty simple. However, it needs to be done thoroughly in order for you to get the full benefits of it. So the first step to detachment is actually, like we mentioned, to feel it. And the second step is to acknowledge that you do want to detach. And the third step right now is to really be able to face all of the fears of not having this in your life. So the biggest challenge of everyone when it comes to detachment, it's the fear of losing, right? The fear of losing something or feeling rejected or feeling that you're never going to find something like this good in your life again. And so in order for you to kind of overcome that fear and overcome those realities, what you need to do is you need to be able to list them out or acknowledge, like, what are the actual fears, that the worst case scenarios that could happen. And sometimes they're not as bad as you think. I actually got one of the comments in my last video. Someone said that your worst case scenarios are so terrible, they're so intense that it could never possibly be someone else's worst case scenarios. So whatever that worst case scenario for you is, if you end up detaching, you know, the fact of maybe never ever experiencing this opportunity again or anything like that. Whatever it is, write them down and just kind of face it and feel whatever comes up in your body. It could be panic, it could be anxiety, whatever that is. Realize that it's a passing emotion and you're actually forcing, like, kind of unconsciously forcing yourself to take certain actions because of the fear of these emotions playing out. So if you allow the emotions to play out, then you're able to overcome them. Then you can start doing the next thing, right? So that's one way of doing it. And the second way of detaching is realizing that the commitment you have for your own happiness is stronger than the attachment you have of that outcome. So whatever that outcome is, you have to believe that there is a reason for it to be that certain way. And no matter what, you're gonna learn certain lessons. So looking at a perspective of, okay, what lessons can I derive from this, will allow you to go through with that process and maybe have an even better opportunity. As long as this item is holding your attention and as long as this is holding your energy, you're not going to be able to overcome it and you're not going to be able to free up that RAM that's in your body and pay attention to something else. So it's very important to clear that energy and clear that idea and clear those thoughts and clear those attachments that you have to those past events or those current events that are in your life, or those current relationships. So those are the two ways that you can really face it and overcome it on your own. It might be challenging, it might be uncomfortable, it might be uneasy. However, it's well worth it, because that's the first step to really allowing yourself to detach so that you can, in the future, reattach to something much healthier and something that brings you joy. And by the way, it doesn't mean that whatever you attached yourself to it previously was not worth it. It could be for whatever time that, you know, you were attached to it. So just let it be and just be happy and grateful that it happened, and good luck on detaching yourself from love. I'll talk to you soon, and you can always subscribe on the channel, and see you in the next one.